Good evening. I'll call the Board of Trustees meeting for Tuesday, November 12th to order at 6 p.m. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Berry?
Here.
Mr. Culp? Here.
We have no Operation Inherent Resolve and Freedom Sentinel casualties. Chief Stiegelmeyer, first responder casualties, please.
Good evening, Board. The following is the list of the first responder casualties for the period of October 23rd through November 7th of 2019. Deputy Sheriff Brian Ishmael, El Dorado County Sheriff's Office, California. End of watch October 23rd, 2019. Detention Officer Gene Lee, Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, Arizona. End of watch October 30th, 2019. Police Officer Jonathan Diaz, Lemoore Police Department, California. End of watch November 2nd, 2019. Interim Police Chief Michael Knapp, Linden Police Department, Washington. End of watch November 6, 2019. Assistant District Chief Dwayne S. Bradshaw, Escambia County Fire Rescue, Pensacola, Florida. End of watch November 6, 2019. And finally, Detective George Rene Del Rio, Dayton Police Department, Ohio. End of watch November 7th, 2019.
Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. I'll now make a motion we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion on anything under the consent agenda?
Mr. Berry?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
Move right into new business with our department reports. We'll begin with our administrator, Mr. Hess.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight I have Resolution 65, 2019. It's a resolution to appoint a replacement for Terry Slayball to the Miami Township Dayton JED Board, and Mr. Mike Cross is who we're recommending. Dayton City Commissions recently passed legislation to appoint him to fill that unexpired term, and per the contract, we need to do the same. And so, as I said, I have 65, 2019 for your approval. Chief Stegenmeyer.
Good evening, Board. Here before you in your packet was a application for the Ohio Division of Liquor Control for Kingsbridge Sub LLC doing business as Pizzazz. You have all the paperwork that was in the packet. This is an amended application. You've already approved once for Pizzazz. However, the licenses they applied for at that time were all taken up in this area. The D1, which is what we're going for in this case, is for beer only till 1:30 on premises in the morning. This is the license that is available in this area at this time, so they've come back and asked for approval for that. And I take any questions.
Do we need a new resolution for it or not?
Motion.
It's a motion.
Okay. Okay.
No questions for him. Do you have any other questions for any of the department heads? If not, sir, turn it back over to you.
Thank you, sir. We'll now open the meeting up to public comments. Anyone wishing to make a public comment, please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record. You have up to 5 minutes to speak. Anyone wishing to make a public comment?
Have Matthew Turton?
Good evening, Board. There's fewer people here than last time, so maybe a little bit less nervous. Matthew Turton, 6600 Jamaica Road, Miami Township. I'm here again in front of you with the situation that we have over on Jamaica Road and on 725 with the business that is being ran out of an agricultural facility. Just want to continue to bring it to your attention that there are parties going on Friday nights, Thursday nights, wedding showers, baby showers, weddings that are on the agricultural facility. What all's going on over there are light pollution, noise pollution in the general area. It's become a nuisance to me and to our family and to the community. It is affecting probably 5 or 6 residents in that area. Originally, the property was brought to you as a request, I think, for exemption for a chapel. I think it was asked to be separated into 2 different deeds so they could ask for different zoning changes. And I still bring to you that the facility is having commercial operations, and I just wonder what might be able to be done proactively by the board or by the township to address the items that are going on over there. As I stated back a year and a half ago, you can only put so much lipstick on a pig, and it's still a pig. It's what we have over there. Whatever you call it, it is a commercial operation in an agricultural facility. I think it's a shame that we have a couple hundred people using a facility that is engineered sanitarily as a single residence. Where the urine is going, I don't know when they have a party. Where the fecal material is going when they have a party, I don't know. But I would assume that it's going into the residence septic system, and I'm sure it's not engineered for that. I know that it's not been inspected, to my knowledge, and I think that it's still under question on the fire application that has been upheld, I think, by the state on the violations that were existing. And I'm not sure exactly when the period of correcting the facility is up. And I guess that's one question that I would like to find out. I've asked numerous times to find out what the next step is on the inspections, and we're just very unpeaceful.
I appreciate you coming in tonight, Mr. Turton, and that this is something that I know has been going on too long. Mr. Hess, do you have some updates on where we are with this at this point in
Or if you
time?
recall that on the 4th of November, I sent you an email that our law director had indicated he's ready to file the injunction against Mr. Paulette. He was going to get hold of Mr. Turbin to find out any additional. I will check with him tomorrow to see where that stands. But that was as of the 4th of this month, he was getting ready to file on the injunction. Pretty much that is where we stand.
I think there's also a pending Supreme Court case that they're waiting to see how that turns out, to get some clarification on how these enterprises get dealt with. But are they violating any other, are they potentially violating any kind of liquor law or anything if they're having parties out there and serving alcohol? Okay.
Fire codes are the big ones, right?
Fire goods are a big thing, as long as they don't sell alcohol with the liquor permit. But again, we've gone through the Dayton Building Commission, the county, the state fire marshals. It's to a point where we've done everything we can except file that injunction. As of the 4th, Mr. Dow was getting ready to file the injunction. He was going to get, according to the email I have, he was going to contact you one last time to see about any additional information. I have not had a chance to talk to him since then, but I will check with him in the morning and find where that is.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
Hopefully we get resolution to this soon.
Yes, as stated, when the original Board of Zoning Appeals were up here, the owner stated that they were going to put a barrier up, if you recall. Some of that has been in place at 3 foot high, which is basically just dirt piles. And that's what we're looking for, is some separation so where people aren't looking in our property. Individuals who we don't know, a couple hundred people at a time, gazing into our property, strangers, looking at what we have, looking at our valuables, looking at our livestock, looking at our facility. So that would be a wonderful thing if it could come to its fruition of a true separation, as he stated originally. So thank you for your work.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wishing to make a public comment? Seeing none, I'll close the public comment portion of the meeting. And I make a motion that we approve resolution number 065-2019, a resolution of concurrence with Dayton City Commission appointment to the Miami Township Dayton Joint Economic Development District. Therefore, be it resolved, the Miami Township Board of Trustees concurs with the Dayton City Commission's appointment of Mike Cross to the Miami Township Dayton Joint Economic Development District.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion?
Mr. Berry?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
I'll make a motion we approve the liquor permit for Pizzazz.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion on the motion?
No.
Mr. Berry?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
Now move into elected officials' comments. Mr. Newell.
I have none.
Mr. Culp.
I have none.
I'd just like to congratulate Mr. Newell on his victory.
Thank you.
Was that 10 days ago? Last week?
Last week.
Week ago.
Yep,
Week ago. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And with that, I make a motion we adjourn at 6:11.
I just